الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. Okay, Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope everyone is good. So far we have Ayan, Rida, Jannat, mashallah in. So we're gonna get started and let's refresh where we are and what we are reading. So we are reading Surah Al-Baqarah and we finished the last session, last class we had. We read till ayat number 82. Yeah, ayat 82 was the last ayat we read. And just to refresh what's going on in the previous ayats here. So Allah Ta'ala is addressing to Bani Israel. Allah Ta'ala is addressing to them and reminding them that, you know, how these people were disobeying Allah Ta'ala, even though, even after Allah Ta'ala gave them so many bounties in this world. Allah Ta'ala was very merciful to them. And Allah Ta'ala gave them a priority on other nations to them. Allah sent them more than 100,000 prophets, but they denied, and they most of them did never become really good Muslims. So previous ayats, Allah Ta'ala is talking about them, and Allah Ta'ala said that, you know, they thought that they will never go to hellfire because they are close to Allah Ta'ala. They're close to Allah Ta'ala by saying that because many prophets came in us and these prophets will save us. So Allah Ta'ala said that is not true. No one can go to Jannat for granted. They have to, Jannat is a place where someone will enter only based on their belief and based on their deeds. So the first thing which is required to go to Jannat is obviously is the Iman. Iman is like you have to have faith. You have to have the right faith. You have to have belief in Allah Ta'ala. You have to have belief in the prophets. You have to believe the day of Qiyamah. And you have to have belief in all the things which Allah Ta'ala is saying in the Quran. So that's the first thing. After that belief, you need to have the deeds. Deeds meaning what does Allah Ta'ala wants us to do to be good Muslims. So we need to do that. So if the people who have faith, they will go to Jannat inshallah for sure. But if the deeds are not good, they can be punished. They can go to hellfire for some time, and then after that they can go to Jannat. But if the faith is wrong, there is no way they can go to Jannat. So that's what we've been reading about in the last few ayats. So let's continue, and we're gonna continue from ayat number 83. So Rida, go ahead, read ayat 83. Yes.
I can't hear Rida.
Rida, mute.
She's on unmute, but I can't hear her.
No, Rida, volume is not thing. Ayan, can you hear Rida?
I can't hear her that good, but I can hear her.
Now do you hear me?
It's like your volume isn't, like your mic isn't that good, but I can hear you. Like I can still hear you.
Go ahead, Rida.
I like to hear her like on like
You can hear fine?
on your side. I hear it on your side.
Oh, she's hearing from. So Rida, you must be mute.
No, I'm not. No. She's not on mute though.
Okay, go ahead, Rida, whatever it is. That's fine then. Try to go a little louder.
وإذ أخذنا ميثاق بني إسرائيل لا تعبدون إلا الله وبالوالدين إحسانا وذي القربى واليتامى والمساكين وقولوا للناس حسنا وأقيموا الصلوات from the children of Israel, you will not worship except Allah. And with the parents, be good, and with relatives and the orphans, and the needy, and speak to the people good, and establish the prayer. And give the zakat, then you turned away, except a few of you, and you were refusing.
Okay, good. So very important ayat. So let me read again. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وإذ أخذنا ميثاق بني إسرائيل لا تعبدون إلا الله وبالوالدين إحسانا وذي القربى واليتامى والمساكين وقولوا للناس حسنا وأقيموا الصلاة وآتوا الزكاة ثم توليتم إلا قليلا منكم وأنتم معرضون. So Allah Ta'ala says, and when we took the covenant from the children of Israel, you will not worship except Allah, and with the parents be good, and with relatives and the orphans and the needy, and speak to the people good, and establish the prayer and give the zakat. Then you turn away except a few of you, and you were refusing. So we have been reading in the previous many ayahs that Allah Ta'ala said that Bani Israel was given some covenants to do. Bani Israel was given some covenants and they refused. They refused, and Allah Ta'ala has been talking about those covenants quite a few times. In this ayat, Allah Ta'ala is telling about those covenants, what those covenants were. So remember, covenants are something which Allah Ta'ala asking us to do, right? So Allah Ta'ala is taking a covenant, is like Allah Ta'ala taking a promise from us that He will do this. When you say you are Muslim, when we say we are Muslim, so we're taking a covenant, meaning we're making a contract with Allah Ta'ala that we're gonna follow the guidelines which Allah Ta'ala wants us to do those things. So Allah Ta'ala is saying that remember when I took, so in this ayah Allah Ta'ala is saying, remember when I took covenant from the children of Israel, meaning from Bani Israel, from those people, that you will not worship except Allah. So the biggest requirement of being a Muslim. So this covenant was for them, but it's also for us as well. So the Islam is also talking about these same things. So we need to understand what Allah Ta'ala asked them and what Allah Ta'ala is asking us. So basically, what Allah Ta'ala have asked us during all this time is same. To be a Muslim, it was same thing for them to do, and the same thing for us to do as well. So this Quran is full of these things, what is covered in this ayat. Many of these things are repeated again and again, but this ayat is pretty much a translation of everything which Allah Ta'ala wants from us. So the very first thing Allah Ta'ala wants us to do, Allah says, do not worship anyone except Allah. So that's the biggest thing. So when you say La ilaha illallah, it means that there is no one else except Allah who is worthy of worship. That we cannot worship anyone else. Only Allah is the one who is worthy of worship. So we need to worship Him, meaning we need to believe in Him. We need to believe that He is our Rabb, He is our God, He is our Creator, and He is who we have to return. So that the very first thing Allah is saying that you do not worship anyone else except Allah. So you have to do that, you have to believe that, and you have to act on it. And then right away Allah says, وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا, meaning, and with the parents you have to be good. You have to be good with your parents. The word Allah Ta'ala is using here is ihsan, ihsana, right? In Urdu also we say ihsan, कि तुमने मुझ पे कोई ihsan किया है. Remember we do that, right? We say that. Huh? No, it doesn't mean easy. Ihsan, if we use that word, we hear that word a lot, कि उसने मुझ पे कोई ihsan किया, did he make? So in English, the meaning is very simple. It says good, or in English you can say favor. But the meaning of this word in Arabic is very vast. So Allah Ta'ala has been using this word a lot, especially with parents. Allah Ta'ala is saying, and with the parents, you have to do ihsan. Ihsan is something you have to do better than good. Right? Whatever you think is good, you have to go beyond that. So whatever you think is good, you have to go beyond that. So meaning, for example, I'll give you an example. Example, if you're working at a place, right? If you're working at a place and your boss wants to be at the place from 9 to 5. So you're there from 9 to 5 and you're working hard. You're working really hard as they want to do it. But even after 5 o'clock, you're sitting there working for 2 or 3 more hours. You're not expecting any compensation for that. You're not expecting any. He's saying there's no reward, there is no overpayment. I won't pay you more, but you spending more time trying to get the work done. So that spending more time going beyond your responsibility is ihsan. So whatever responsibility we have from the parents, Allah Ta'ala is ordering us to do beyond that.
What does beyond?
Beyond means more than that.
Okay.
So Allah Ta'ala says with the parents we have to do ihsan. So there is a covenant of Allah Ta'ala. If we don't do that, we are gunagar, we are criminals. We can be punished for that. So it's not enough that if a parent says, hey, do this, you do this, and you walk away. You do that, but you should be available to do more. Allah Ta'ala is ordering us to do this thing. So this is something not a choice. This is something which is a requirement for us to be good Muslim.
So you shouldn't ignore your parents or anyone.
Huh?
So you shouldn't ignore your parents or anyone.
Right. So is anyone else is coming forward, but right now Allah Ta'ala is talking about parents. Allah said with the parents, the very first thing Allah said, the covenant with them was, and the covenant is the same covenant for us as well as Quran. Allah said the very first thing Allah Ta'ala asked them, do not worship anyone else except Allah. So you have to believe Allah is the creator. You have to believe Allah is the one who is doing everything. You have to have faith in that, and you have to have firm belief in that. And then second thing, Allah Ta'ala says right away, وَبِالْ وَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا, that with the parents, you have to do ihsan. You understand what ihsan is, right? So ihsan is, if a parent calls you up and says, hey Rida, I want you to do this, you cannot say why. You cannot say why. It's because that is like not even doing the very first thing which is being good. How can you do ihsan? Ihsan is beyond good. You can say why or no if the parents asking you to do something which is against the will of Allah Ta'ala. Only then. Otherwise, no. Otherwise, you have to obey them. Obey is the very basic thing. Being good with them, obeying them is a starting point. But word ihsan means you have to go beyond that.
So
You have to go beyond that.
So what if a Muslim dad and a Muslim children and a Muslim dad said do something not Islam and can they say why then?
Yes, if they say if the parents say us, do something which is against Islam, yes, then we can say no, we cannot, and why should we do it? But if they ask you, hey, bring me a glass of water, there's nothing wrong with that. You need to go and get it done. Because that's obeying them, that's listening to them. Understand? So Allah Ta'ala say, another emphasizing this word right away. Ihsana. Ihsana is gonna come in Quran many times. With the parents, Allah Ta'ala is using the word ihsan all the time. That you have to go beyond what you think is good. So if you think you're good with your parents, you have to go beyond that because Allah Ta'ala is asking for that from us. Allah Ta'ala is asking that from me, from you, from everyone.
Well, you don't do the norm, you don't do the not everything we used to do, everything's not what things are not Islam.
So let's not go there. Yes, if anything goes against Islam, you can say that. But all our parents are Muslims, alhamdulillah, and they will never ask us to do something against Islam. What are they going to ask us? They're going to ask us, hey, don't waste your time on the games. They're going to ask you, don't spend your time wisely. So these are things they ask us, right? So the issue comes when the parents are non-Muslim. Then we can say we cannot do it because you're asking us something which is non-religious. But our parents are Muslims. So that really doesn't apply to us. Akbar, your question.
Okay.
So the thing here we need to understand is Allah Ta'ala saying, "Bil walidaini ihsana," that you have to be more than good with your parents. Okay. Now let's continue. And then it says, وَذِي الْقُرْبَى وَالْيَتَامَى, and with relatives and the orphans. So, and then ihsan is with the parents and also with the relatives and the orphans. Who are relatives? Who's relative?
Someone who lives with you.
No, it's not. That's not the definition of relative. Ayan, who's relative?
A relative?
Yeah, what is a relative?
Like a relative is a family. Like for example, like my khala could be my relative, my aunt. So like Kamal Papa is my relative.
Exactly. So look at the beauty of this Quran. So Allah says, "Bil walidaini ihsana wa zil qurba." So relatives are people who are related to your parents, your father's brother, your mother's brother, your mother's sister, your father's sister, your father's father, your mother's father. So anyone who is related to your father, that is your relative. Anyone who is related to your mother, that's your relative. Anyone who's related to your wife is your relative. Your wife's father, your wife's brother, your wife's sister, so they are your relatives. So if you're not married, then they all are relatives. So Allah Ta'ala is saying that you have to go beyond being good with your parents, and also you have to go beyond being good with your relatives. So understand this word. So bil walidaini ihsana wa zil qurba. So Allah Ta'ala is not stopping here only with the parents. Right? So Allah Ta'ala is emphasizing first of all with the parents, that with the parents you have to do ihsan. And ihsan is something not good, it is beyond good. Whatever you think is good, you have to go beyond that. And then Allah says, wazil qurba, and with the relatives. So you have your father's brother, you have to be good with him as well. You have your mother's brother, you have to be good with as well. You cannot ignore them, because this is a commandment from Allah Ta'ala. So this is a covenant from Allah Ta'ala. This is a direct order from Allah Ta'ala. If we are not doing that, we are not good Muslims. We are not obeying Allah Ta'ala. Straightforwardly. And then Allah says, wal yatama. Who's yatim? Orphan. Who's yatim? And then Allah says, and you have to be good with yatim, orphan. Ayan, who's orphan?
A person who does not have a father or mother.
Yes, a person who is underage. Meaning who is less than 18, who is not grown up yet, and if his father has died, passed away, or mother has passed away, he is orphan, right? That's orphan. It's in Arabic is yatim. In Urdu it's called yatim as well. So Allah says that such people who does not have one parent or both parents, he is orphan. You have to be good. You have to do a matter of ihsan with him, meaning you have to go beyond being good with such person as well. So Allah Ta'ala is bringing that category also close to your parents and also close to your relatives. Okay? So these are the direct commandments from Allah Ta'ala. These are the direct covenants. These are the very basic things which Allah Ta'ala asked Bani Israel to do. But these are the same things which Allah Ta'ala has asked us again and again in this Quran. So whatever Allah Ta'ala asked Bani Israel is the same thing which Allah Ta'ala has been asking us. So our requirements are not much different or very similar. So then Allah says, wal masakin. Who's masakin? And the definition is the needy, the one who's poor, right? So Allah says, the one who's poor, if Allah Ta'ala has given you wealth, you have to be good with the needy. If a needy comes to you, you cannot say, I don't want to help you. This is a direct order from Allah Ta'ala. If we're doing anything good to a needy, it's not that we're doing a favor to him. There's something required from us. Akbar, sit down. It's a requirement. To help poor, to help needy, that's a requirement in Islam. There was a requirement for Bani Israel, people from before us, and there's a requirement to us as well. These are the basic covenants to be a good Muslim. Allah says, if you say you are a Muslim, you have to follow these covenants. There's no choice. Then continue. Then Allah says, وَقُولُوا لِلنَّاسِ husna. What is that? And speak to the people good. What does it mean? To speak to the people good. Meaning you have to speak nice. You cannot be mean to people. You cannot be mean regardless of the situation. You cannot say, hey, you deserve this. That's why I'm giving you this attitude. You cannot give attitude. It's not our choice. We don't have a choice on these matters. It's Allah Ta'ala giving us direct orders. Allah Ta'ala is clearly saying, and speak good to the people. Allah Ta'ala is not saying speak good to the good people. Allah Ta'ala is not saying speak bad to the bad people. Allah Ta'ala is saying in general, speak good to the people, meaning all the people. If the person is being mean to you, it does not give you a right to be mean back to him. Being a good Muslim. We don't have a choice there. We have to follow the covenants of Allah Ta'ala.
What if you do on an accident, you break one of the salam accident?
If you break what?
What if you break the rule of Islam on accident?
If you break rule of Islam by accident, Allah Ta'ala says you repent, meaning you do istighfar, you ask for forgiveness, and Allah Ta'ala is forgiving. We read that Allah Ta'ala is the most forgiving. So Allah Ta'ala forgive us. When we ask for forgiveness, we ask Allah Ta'ala, oh Allah Ta'ala forgive us, and in our heart we make a firm decision that we are not going to do it again. We commit to ourselves that we're not going to do this again, and we ask Allah Ta'ala for forgiveness. And if we have done bad with someone, if we have been mean to someone, we need to apologize to that person as well. If you have done bad to someone, to your parents or relatives or poor or the people in general, whom Allah Ta'ala is saying that you have to be good with them, we have to ask forgiveness from Allah Ta'ala, and we have to ask forgiveness from those people as well. And Allah Ta'ala loves the people who ask forgiveness. Allah Ta'ala says that human being can make mistake. We can make mistake. Allah Ta'ala knows that we human, because shaitan is after us all the time. He's in our nerves, and he give us waswasa, and because of that we do bad things. Allah Ta'ala says, but the good Muslim is the one who asks forgiveness. If he does bad, doesn't matter how many times he does bad. It doesn't matter how many times he made a mistake, but he needs to keep on asking for forgiveness. Yes, Rida, what's the question?
It's actually a common.
Uchi bolo.
If your parents, right? They're super rich and they both pass off and you're under 18, you're basically not poor because their money is basically yours, and so then you can take care of yourself with the money if you need to have help.
Yes, so basically you're right, but you're still considered orphan. So maybe you're not needy. See, needy is a different word. Yatama wal masakin. So you're not a maskeen, but you're yatim. So if your parents are not there and they left you a lot of wealth, which is good. So, but you're still orphan, meaning you are still not capable to do many things by yourself. Someone has to take care of you. Someone has to take care of you, and that person, and this is a direct order for that person, whoever is taking care of that orphan, he has to be extra good. He has to do ihsan. He has to treat you in a way which is better than good. No, perfect is only Allah Ta'ala. Nothing is perfect. Humans make mistake. When we say perfect, only Allah Ta'ala is perfect. No human being can be perfect, but we have to strive to be good. That's why Allah is using a word ihsan. Ihsan in English just means good. But the real meaning of this in Arabic or Urdu, when you say मैंने तुम पे ihsan किया, it means that I did something far better than good.
Can we wrap it up over here?
No, listen. So ihsan in Arabic, it means that you have to be better than good, better than what you think is good. So to obey your parents is just obeying, is being good. It's being good, but Allah Ta'ala is asking more than that. Allah Ta'ala is saying ihsan, that you have to do ihsan with them. You have to go beyond which you think is good. Okay? So you have to strive for best. So let's continue. And then Allah says, وَقُولُوا لِلنَّاسِ حُسَنًا, and with the people speak good. Meaning with the people, you have to be nice. You cannot be mean to people. You cannot give them attitude. Doesn't matter if the person comes to you and he's rude, or if you don't like him, Allah Ta'ala is not giving us the permission to give him attitude. Allah Ta'ala is not giving us the permission to be mean. We have to be good. Our character has to be good.
Character, not correct.
So we have to have the right attitude towards all the people. That is a must. And then
Even
Mhm.
Even if they're mean to you, you still have to be nice to them because then they'll be nice back to you.
Right. So with time, obviously, if they're mean to you, you have to stay nice with them. But inshallah, that time will come. If you continue to be nice, he will think that this person is nice to me. Why I'm being mad, giving attitude? So they will change their attitude. Allah Ta'ala says that such attitude can change hearts because Allah Ta'ala is the one who controls the hearts. When you're doing such nice things, Allah Ta'ala help. Allah Ta'ala help. Allah Ta'ala can change the heart of that person. Okay.
So Uncle Amir.
Ji, Assalamu alaikum, Jir bhai.
So Uncle Amir, ihsan and good, like doing ihsan and being very good is like ice cream with sprinkles on top of it, right?
Yes, it's more than ice cream. Yes,
Okay, I got it.
yes, like good. It's a good example. It's like if you're asking for ice cream, you get an ice cream, but then the parents give you sprinkles on top of that. That's even better, right? That's even better than what you're expecting. Okay, let's continue. And then Allah says, "Wa aqimus salah." What is that? And establish the prayer. The prayer, namaz. So that's the basic requirement of Islam as well.
What is it also called namaz prayer?
Rida, hold on. So the waqimus salah. So even to the people of Bani Israel, there was namaz. We don't know what kind of namaz it was. We don't know how many times they're praying. But for us, there's a prayer for 5 times. So basic covenants are same, which was for them and for us as well. So Allah says, to them also Allah said, wa aqimus salah wa atuz zakah, and give the zakah. Give the zakat. What is zakat? Ayan, what is zakat? Ayan.
Charity.
Huh?
Charity.
Charity. No. Yes, Rida. It's kind of charity, yeah.
Zakat is like, so if you see any poor people, right?
Hmm.
So you see them, you have to give money to them.
Okay, so charity is vast, so it can come in charity as well. But zakat is zakat is a compulsory payment, compulsory amount of money which we need to give to poor, depending on how much we earn. If I have $100 with me, I have to give a zakat of 2.5%. So that is mandatory on me. So whatever I give beyond that, that's charity. So whatever I give beyond that, that's sadaqah. So zakat, Allah says there's no excuse for that. So you have to give. We are asked to do same thing, that we have to read namaz and give zakat, and they were also asked the same thing, that whatever you earn, a portion of that, a portion which we don't know what was portion for them, but we know what portion. So portion of them was mandatory for them to give to the needy. Okay, and then Allah says, "Summa tawallaytum illa qalilan minkum wa antum ma'ridun." Then you turned away, except a few of you, and you were refusing. What does it mean? When these people heard, these people found out Allah Ta'ala wants all these things, many of them turned away, meaning they said, "Oh, this is too hard. We cannot do it. This is too hard. We cannot do it. We cannot be ultra nice with the relatives. We cannot be ultra nice with the poor. We cannot be ultra nice to our parents because our parents give us a headache. Well, we cannot always listen to them, right? It's always a matter. Or we cannot do namaz because we're too busy. We cannot give zakat because if we give zakat, or we feel like our money is going to be reduced." Yes, Akbar, your question?
Well, if it's something important, if you can do something, I'm just try until you get the hang of it.
Yes, you have to try, exactly. Whatever it is, you have to try. But being human, we are asked to strive our best. We have to keep trying to do all these things until we get a hang of it, until we become part of it. So Allah is saying that when you heard all these things, many of you, so you turned away except a few. So only few of you followed these covenants, but others turned away, meaning they refused. They said they don't want to do it. Either they lied. We read before that there was a group who lied. They were saying, "Oh, we're Muslim," but they were not following it. So even now, among us and Muslims, we have many Muslims, unfortunately. We ourselves, we don't follow all these things sometimes. May Allah forgive us.
By accident, sometimes you forget, sometimes you busy with
By accident or by will or as well. I mean, we know that we need to get up in the morning for Fajr. Many people don't want to get up because they don't want to get up because at that time they're feeling asleep because they don't want to get up. They don't want to push themselves. They're being so comfortable. So we are doing similar. We are doing similar things but these people did. Yes, Rida.
Is this how you always go to Fajr time in the morning? Is it that you put a alarm clock like on your phone so you can wake up? Because I know you sleep late.
Yeah, so you obviously you have to do whatever you need to do to get up because these things are not an option for us. These are requirements from Allah Ta'ala that we have to do namaz, we have to give zakat, and Allah Ta'ala said that many of them they turned away and they refused. So they turned away and they refused, meaning they said it's too hard for us, we cannot follow it. So Allah Ta'ala, in this is the very first ayat, and Allah Ta'ala is telling what were those covenants. Because before this, Allah Ta'ala was just saying that these people, when the covenants were being given, they refused, they didn't follow. But right now, in this ayat, the very first ayat in Quran, in which Allah Ta'ala is telling clearly what were those covenants, and we just found out these covenants are the same covenants which Allah Ta'ala has given us to Muslims as well to do. Okay, let's continue, inshallah. So next ayat, is Sarah there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Sarah, better read next ayat, which is going to be ayat number 84.
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وإذ أخذنا ميثاقكم لا تسفكون دماءكم ولا تخرجون أنفسكم من دياركم ثم أقررتم وأنتم تشهدون. And the definition is, and when we took your covenant, do not shed your, i.e., each other's blood, or evict yourselves one another from your homes. Then you ratified while you were witnessing.
Good. وَإِذْ أَخَذْنَا مِيثَاقَكُمْ لَا تَسْفِكُونَ دِمَاءَكُمْ وَلَا تُخْرِجُونَ أَنفُسَكُمْ مِنْ دِيَارِكُمْ ثُمَّ أَقْرَرْتُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ تَشْهَدُونَ. So that says, and when we took your covenant, you will not shed your blood and will not evict yourself from your homes. Then you ratified while you were witnessing. So what is Allah saying here? Allah is saying that, remember, I also take a covenant from you. So this was also part of the covenant which came to them, that you are not going to shed your blood. Your blood. I mean, no one wants to shed his own blood. But the beauty of Quran, Allah is saying that don't shed your blood, meaning if you are killing someone else, if you're shedding someone else's blood, it eventually is going to mean you are shedding your blood. So if you're going to go kill someone, if the murder is going to be, if the murdering is going to happen so often, you're going to be getting murder as well. So Allah is saying that if you start doing this thing, if you start killing people, eventually you will get killed similar way because it's going to come back to you. Huh?
Can we wrap
But
it up
one more
over
ayat, hold
here?
on. So Allah is saying that, remember when I told you, do not shed your blood, meaning don't go beyond, don't start killing people. Once that start happening, you know, then everyone's going to start killing and they will kill you as well. You're going to get killed yourself too. So Allah Ta'ala is saying that don't start killing people and will not evict yourself from the homes. And don't evict yourself from the homes, meaning, remember in the previous, before we read that when these people, they were asked that you can go and conquer the city. And when they conquer the city, the very first thing you go, say you ask for astaghfirullah and don't show pride. Don't show pride and be nice to the people. When you conquer the city, do not evict them from their homes. So so do not evict from the home. So that's the rule of saying that with the general people, if you are going to conquer the city, you have no right to evict the people from their homes. So Allah is giving us here a rule of the a rule of the war. So when Muslims are going to a war, when these Bani Israel, when they were going to a war, they were going to conquer that city, which Allah said, go and start living there, because there you will find everything which you need. And when you go there, you are not supposed to shed blood. Do not kill people there for no reason, and do not evict them from their homes, because if you do that, it's going to come back to you. And then Allah said, then you ratified while your witnesses, meaning then you agreed on this. You agreed on these covenants, you ratified, you said we will not do it, and you were also witnessing, meaning there were other people, they knew that you were agreeing to it, but you denied it. Okay? Jannat, you have a question? No. Okay, so I think we're going to wrap it up here. These ayats were a little longer today. So inshallah, tomorrow we're going to continue from next ayat, a little longer. So I want to take time on the next ayat as well. So with this, we're going to wrap up. Anyone have any question? Or we can... Okay, so if no one have a question, we're going to end up here and we make a dua. Make a dua that Allah Ta'ala help us understand the Quran, help us read more Quran, and help us follow Quran, and help us become good Muslims. Help us understand what we read, and Allah Ta'ala give us ajr for this. Allah Ta'ala may accept our gathering, and Allah Ta'ala give reward to our parents, to everyone. So with this, we say Ameen, and inshallah, I'll see everyone tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz, everyone. Assalamu alaikum.